Hey, welcome to Your Aunties Could Never. I'm Auntie AK and I'm here with...
Auntie Farah.
Auntie Nana.
And Aunty Sade.
How are you, my ladies? How you doing?
Sun's out, buns out. Way!
Yes. yes. I'm excited to see the sunshine, I can't lie.
Yeah.
I went out yesterday.
How was it?
I went to Trevor Nelson's party.
Oh.
In
You look guilty.
Come out and party.
yeah, it was in Southwark, and it wasn't great.
Was it
but we had
ministry?
fun. No, it's a place called Omira or something like that. Not the greatest club,
No.
but we were the youngest people in there.
Well, that must have been fun.
Yeah,
Really?
Yep, 55 to 60-year-olds.
Because Trevor's an uncle, isn't it?
Yeah, he's nearly 60.
It's so true, actually.
Yeah.
Very surprising, but yeah, it was a lot of old-aged people. That's the only thing I can say.
That's so rude. Old.
So yeah,
aged people.
I'm a little bit hungover today.
That's
but
good. Good work. I'm very proud of you.
Thank
Aw.
you. You got out.
Excellent. You got out there.
I got out.
You shook your tush.
I did. I danced a lot.
Were the tunes good, though?
The tunes were okay. Yeah, it was all right. It was all right.
Shit. Okay.
It was all right. I won't go to another Trevor Nelson party unless it's sponsored.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
What do you mean sponsored? Like, free
Like he
drinks?
sponsored us to go there.
Oh, okay.
Then I'll go
cool.
to another one of his
Okay,
parties
okay.
again.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always thought his crowd was older.
I didn't know. I don't know what we was
Trevor.
thinking of.
They're just also very
Yeah.
Caucasian.
Yeah. There was a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were in there in full force
Okay.
with their partners. Yeah.
Okay.
What did you say to us
Yeah, don't admit what you said to us.
about the type of men in there?
They were looking for black queens.
What?
It was those types of guys. Like,
Specifically white guys looking for black women.
yeah. And like you'll stop somewhere and a guy will come over and be like, "How you doing? You enjoying the night?"
Hi, how are you? I just wanted to say hello.
But you know what? I'm not even
People.
against that in that age group. Do you know what I mean? Because now you've got disposable income, hopefully.
Do you know what? Went into my head? No, I can't lie.
We need to delve into
No,
this.
because what went into my head, and I was going to say it, but I didn't. I thought, let me not do that yet. I thought,
Yeah.
I bet they got money though. It's like, did they look like they were rich?
Because you know, like millionaires, like there's a lot of like millionaires, maybe in the States. I swear I've read this somewhere that they tend to date black when they've made their money. So then they tend to date black.
Really?
Yeah.
So we're
Can I
high value
still...
women once they hit.
So when you get to like 50 and beyond, then we turn into high value women.
I might be making this up, but no.
I don't
but
know.
I'm
I've
pretty
not
sure I
heard
read
this
it.
before, but
Interesting.
that isn't. So it's
And-
okay when you get older.
I don't know.
So where are the black men in
I'm
this?
not-
The black
yeah.
millionaires, they don't care. They're still...
Well, yeah, they're still going after who they're going
Say
after,
something
isn't it?
so rude.
All right. Shout out to the woman in Waitrose who stopped me to say she's an avid watcher and regular listener to Your Aunties Could Never. I'm sorry I didn't ask your name. We were both shopping. But thank you for stopping us and saying that you're a fan.
Yeah.
Big up to you.
Big up to you,
Lovely.
Miss
That is
Waitrose.
cute. Yes. Yeah. And leave us a comment so that we do
Yeah.
know who
Yeah.
you are.
Yes.
Do that, please, because thank you. That was very kind of you.
That would be nice.
Auntie Farah, take it away.
Would you?
That's fine.
Would you rather be homeless but never have to work, or work at a job you hate for the rest of your life?
Work at a job I hate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Work at a job.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you
I don't want to be
Yeah.
homeless.
Yeah, me
Yeah, no.
Unless I'm homeless, but I'm not really homeless, because you know those people. There are some people that are homeless, but it's not like they're sleeping on the street homeless. You can be homeless and be like couch surfing.
Yeah.
That's not fun
Okay.
either.
Yeah.
No, I
yeah.
know, I've done it.
Yeah.
So I know
trust
that is,
me.
and I would not live in a country with low cost of living but horrible weather, aka here,
I was about to say that's
or
where
live
we
in a
are.
country with high cost of living and amazing weather, aka here.
Doesn't
Well,
have
no.
amazing weather.
It does once or twice a year.
If we had good weather and prices were no, I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But prices are high, bad weather
No,
No.
low cost of living,
and bad
but the
weather.
weather is disgusting.
Like going to live in
Don't
Like
affect
Norway.
any country.
Well, we live in.
That's why I'm like,
Yeah,
both
the
of these
prices
kind of
are
here,
the
but-
prices are high, but I would deal with the good weather. Do you know what I mean? I
Okay.
can live with that. That's okay.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so.
Would you rather
Yeah.
suddenly be elected prime minister or an MP, or suddenly become CEO of a major company, but you don't have any knowledge for either role?
CEO.
Don't know how to do the business.
Doesn't matter. It's fine. People are in those positions and they don't know what they're doing all the time. So yeah,
Do you know
CEO,
what?
mate.
If I could just dip my head into being Prime Minister just to see where I go and then dip out and then go back to being a CEO of a business I don't understand.
So you basically want
You
both.
want to do both?
You want both.
It's like, would you
That's
rather?
not the game.
Would you rather be both?
The game.
No. Pick one.
Yeah, which
Pick
one are
one.
you picking?
Can you answer?
I think I actually do want to be a politician to see what it's like. So I think I'm going to go for that.
Yeah, I'd go for politician too. Because I can't be any worse than them fuckers.
Yeah.
And a CEO of a major company, like, you could end up losing billions.
You
you could do it as a politician. Yes, I know. Liz Truss and
You go
me.
to war,
I understand that.
debt.
No, but like,
And
I'm not gonna do that, am
everyone's
I?
going to
We're talking
hate
about
you.
me.
You will
Me,
be the
Farah.
black
Me,
face of the
Farah,
destruction
but me,
of the
Farah
UK,
now. No, but
and
me,
also
Farah now.
And
we're
it's
responsible for
also-
pushing our people back.
Because
Absolutely
me, Farah
not.
Now, I don't know anything, but I can't be any worse than them fuckers.
No, but the
right?
fact of the
No,
matter
no.
is going in and
You don't have
seeing
any power.
the, like,
I do.
as a black leader, this is what you're
I'm
not
the
allowed
Prime
to do.
Minister.
And then they say you're
No,
not allowed
'cause I
to
don't- no, I
save
don't- no, they can't
Caribbean,
tell me that.
save... Yes, they can.
they
They'll
literally
take you
can.
I
out.
don't know the rules, so I'm going to do what I want.
And then
No,
they'll be taken
and
out
they'll
the
be
next
shut
time.
I was about to
Yeah.
say, they'll kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so what? They're
Yeah,
going to
it's
kill
true.
me anyway. Just
No,
so
no,
but they're
no.
not.
You could
They're
run
killing
a
me
you could
slowly
run a
every day.
business
Every day they're
and
killing me
just
slowly.
take
Just
out.
figure it out. No,
You
I'm
could
going
just
to
run a
figure it
business,
out.
mate. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Or
can,
get
'cause
someone,
you've got
just hire
staff.
people to figure out.
Yeah,
How do I know if they
I'll
know
just
what
be
they're
like, hi
doing?
guys.
Because you don't know how
See
to
you
run the
later.
business, but you know how to hire the people.
How do I know if they know what they're doing?
No, but it's like any interview.
I
job
don't
Don't
know.
interview.
I don't know.
Don't know.
business.
It doesn't
you-
matter.
no,
But I'm doing a
But
job
people
interview.
do that
The roles
all
I'm
the
interviewing
time.
for, I know what they're meant to do.
People do that
how
all the
far is
time.
this don't know the business going? Like
You
just
don't know anything.
anything, anytime,
Nothing.
any day.
Nothing at all.
But you hire people. This is facts.
But how do you know that they know?
No, you don't. You don't.
You would rather put yourself in the line of world fire and assassination
This is what I'm
than run a
saying.
business.
It's for my people, to save my people.
But
you're
you
not.
know you're
You're
not going to.
absolutely not
You-
going to be
you lot
able
have no
to.
faith in me.
No,
No.
I've no faith in the government,
In the
and structure
system,
that
not
we
you.
live in today. That's
You literally hate
for
him.
not doing enough. All right, guys, what have you heard? I know, Auntie Nana, who are you welcoming to the family?
Okay, so this week I am welcoming Nella Rose to the family.
We love Nella.
Yes, yeah, really, really proud of Nella Rose. Why I'm welcoming her is it came to my attention that she has actually opened up a content studio. And
really?
yeah, the facilities has like a kitchen, it's got like a living room space. You can do podcasts from there. And I was just like, I think that is really brilliant that such a young content creator has done really well, and she's now providing spaces for other people to do the same. So I'm very proud of her.
Yeah,
I
really
absolutely
nice.
love Nella. Well done. She's
Yes.
a wonderful niece.
Yes,
That's amazing.
yes.
Her journey's been amazing.
So welcome to the family.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, what have you heard in the social media headlining newsine streets?
streets.
Who wants to go first?
Out in these streets.
All right. No one wants to go first.
I don't mind.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about the Prime Minister, seeing as I was saying that I could be Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Go on then.
Because
What's
these fuckers don't know.
What's your
much.
Prime Minister
your Prime
doing?
Minister,
What's your Prime Minister?
your Prime Minister,
Your
Rishi
Prime
Sunak,
Minister.
Sunak, has dismissed a call for the government to apologise and to pay reparations. He said, and I quote, give me 1 second so I can find said quote. He said, what I think is that our focus should now be on, of course, understanding our history and all its part, not running away from it, but right now making sure we have a society that's inclusive and tolerant of people from all backgrounds. So he's basically saying we don't need to worry about that. Let's focus on moving forward. Now, don't you think that in order for us to move forward, we should actually address what happened in the past?
Yes.
You would think so.
And, being of, Asian descent, you would think that someone like him would actually understand the need for people to look at the history and atone for said history in order to move forward progressively.
Yeah.
Do you know?
You would think
I don't
so.
even have very many questions. It's just more I'd like to get your opinion on what he said and, where we go from here with Mr. Sunak, you lot's president, prime minister. That man that then 10 down the street.
Were we surprised that this took place?
No.
Absolutely not. Not. I'm surprised he hasn't said it sooner. To be honest, I thought, but
I guess the question has to come up for him to respond to.
Yeah, it's true.
And shout out Labour MP Bel Rabia Addy,
Yes.
Yeah.
who
He brought it
asked
up.
for this apology.
And that was on the anniversary of Bernie Grant's. Was it when he
Yeah.
put it to Parliament?
I think so.
It was.
Yeah.
Uh,
So the only time Tony Blair previously expressed deep sorrow, that's as far as it got. And then our former president, Ghanaian President John Kufuor, said, kind of questioned about it. And he said, well, actually, I have said it. We are sorry. And I say it again now. But it's all very defensive and dismissive. And
So the Ghanaian president did say sorry.
no, he questioned Tony Blair at the time why
okay.
he didn't say a proper apology.
Right.
And then Tony Blair was defensive. This was back in 2007. It's just like the history. The UK has never issued a proper apology, and every politician in the hot seat is following suit for some reason.
I think they get prepped for this.
yeah.
Because he was too quick with his reply as well.
Like it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to add a little spice to it, to
Yeah.
what he said as well. He said, trying to unpick our history is not the right way forward, and it is not something that we will focus our energies on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to unpick our history.
He's taking a piss. The thing is, yeah, see, Mr. Rishi. First of all, he had police officers running by his car, yeah, the other day. Like he's I don't know who he thinks he is, to be honest.
That was the most weirdest sight ever.
It was like a dictator,
Yeah,
to be honest.
yeah.
Like, you're actually going to run with my car. And I thought, like, is he doing this for his people? If he is, then I kind of appreciate it. Do you know what I mean? But then you want to do a freaking... No, actually, we're not sorry. We're actually not
Yeah.
sorry about anything.
I'm okay.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And that's the
clapping
thing.
Kemi that was sat next to him.
Exactly.
Clapping and nodding her head like the Churchill dog.
Proper
That's
little
what she looked like.
Flapping seal. She was
Flapping
going for
seal.
it.
Yeah, but she knew. I think like it just goes to show like he's not of the people, is
Yeah.
he? Like not in any sense. None of the people in his cabinet are for
And
the
it's just,
people
you
at
know,
all.
considering how many ethnics are in his cabinet, it just makes me really upset that at this point, I mean, I'm not surprised, let's just say that, but it makes me a little bit upset that none of you can understand why we need to move forward with this. Or maybe you've been told that if you're going to join our club, you're not allowed to chat about this ever. Did they have to sign something in blood?
They definitely do. But what I'm struggling over is his choice of words.
Yeah.
Unpick. How is an apology unpicking history?
Because
Like, how do the
minute you
two things go
apologise-
together?
The minute you apologise, you then have to break down what you're apologising for. And it's a long, lengthy list of what they need to apologise for.
I don't even think you need to break it down.
No, Will.
You do,
So
you do.
German people, when the government apologised for what took place to the Jews, how are you breaking it down? You apologise and then you need to atone. So you're not going to apologise so that you don't have to atone. That isn't unpicking history. It's like factual. We know that this took place. So at some point, one of you is going to have to atone for this. Like, it just has to take place.
That's it.
But it's, go on, sorry.
No, go on.
I was going to say, what you said a couple of podcasts ago when you were like, we don't know enough about white abolitionists because they don't want us to realise that there were people who were actually against it.
Yeah.
Because then it makes them realise that was wrong. So if no one is apologising for slavery, or colonialism or any of that, or Britain's history and you know their part in it, then it wasn't really wrong. You haven't got anything to apologise for.
And that so that would be the unpicking.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what it is. Should we stop asking for reparations now?
Never.
No.
I'm just asking.
Never.
Ride it until the
I feel
hills
like we need to.
fall.
Well, I would prefer a demand, not ask.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I would. Do you know what I mean? I just don't want to. Please, no. Like, it's a demand. It's like we're sending the invoice. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not.
Yeah.
You don't have a
But
choice.
what is the demand in this will? Because when they keep saying no, how many times have they been asked? If you're looking at the
You just
anniversary
have
of Bernie
to keep
Grant
doing it.
saying it, like, what will get on their nerves? Because we keep asking. Or
Someone's
demanding.
gonna crack.
Yeah,
It's just the whole
Someone's
thing.
gonna
When you
cry.
look at what they've done, it's okay. So you guys had slaves, right? And then you freed the slaves after 400 and whatever years, right? And then when you freed the slaves had to work for free for about 5 years.
Yeah.
Whilst the slave owners got on their feet. And after 5 years, or probably during the 5 years, you then compensated the slave owners, right? And then when these countries that you once colonized wanted independence, you then charged them
Yes.
for their independence.
Yeah.
And which meant that they are paying you, or have been paying you, for all these generations.
Yeah.
So you're still making money off these people, but you don't think there's anything to apologise.
Where's the World Debt campaigners gone? Because I've not heard, I haven't seen a strong cancel World Debt campaign for very many long time, for many years. There used to be quite a strong campaign like cancel World Debt. That needs to reinvigorate.
They gave them all COVID.
But that was even, wow. But also before that, because I felt like the very 80s or 90s campaign about cancelling World Debt.
It was literally, wasn't it? It was like late 90s kind of coming in. I don't know. Maybe it's because of environmental issues at our forefront. So I'm thinking of like Extinction Rebellion. People talk about them more than the World Debt. It's more about actually environment stuff.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
I'm sure they're there. It would just be that
needs to be
what
louder.
Journalists are wanting to pick up this story to cover it. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
I would say that the majority of people in this country don't believe that we should get reparations.
Yeah,
I would say that's the
But I also
the
think
agenda.
that's because they don't really understand their history. They're not taught, like, a lot of people don't get it, you know.
That's why, because now...
You know what?
Black folks saying the same.
Black folks are brainwashed.
I don't think they're real, especially on social media. I don't think. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's not.
But I do think that even I think on principle they don't want to open that box, like the average person, I would say, because they're thinking, what does that mean for me?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Because even when we was at that show, right, it's not like they don't the one that we done with Pod Bible, it's not like they don't fundamentally understand. It's just that they come to a realization of like, what am I going to lose, and how is it going to affect me? Do you know what I mean? And then they go this defensive, which I think is actually, and this should be studied, the pathology of racism. That's what I think that is. Do you know what I mean? That it's just like your first response is to defend and to break down and stuff, when actually you know that in principle what we're saying is true and fair and just.
And also that,
do you know what I mean?
that inherent fear that I think white people have, that the day that the blacks especially switch, they're done for. So I think that there's always the fuel to their fire of like, no, I'm not dealing with that, because you see how people act, and it's like, we know how we would act if you guys had done to us what we've done to you. So let's not go there.
They think they know.
No, no, that's what I'm saying.
I think it's the
assumption.
fear, and I think that is
saying.
like repurposed, like in cinema and media all the time. Like constantly, that constant message that you are in danger of this potential.
That's why they create the big black.
What's funny about it is that it's never happened.
Exactly.
It's a massive fear that you have of us and what we're going to do and how we're going to respond has never happened.
No,
you know.
But yet they create that
once.
fear. Yeah.
But if you start to actually run away from the fear, that level of shame that you're going to experience, nobody wants to experience that. So it's better, we know things were done to you, and we know, yes, economically, yes, you're there. But if you manage to get on your feet properly, financially, spiritually, all of those ways, what does that mean for us?
Yeah.
And I get it. I get why you would be like, actually, but not even just financially. What does that mean for us? It actually is how are we going to feel that we did this for so long?
But that's what
slavery is one side, colonialism is another side, but actually just institutional racism. We upheld this. Yeah. What's that going to do for their psyche?
And that's why they're fighting so hard against teaching critical race theory in schools and everything, because they just don't want anyone to be educated. They don't want.
But they don't want to lose power.
Yeah.
Like any little smidgen of power that they pretend they don't have, privilege. Do you know what I mean? Like they just don't want to. They just don't want to lose it at all.
All right, guys. What else have you heard?
So speaking of,
power,
power hungry, crazed, delusional leaders, our so-called king in the UK, King Charles, has basically done like. I don't even know what to, he's given us a request, right? His coronation is coming up. It's just a week away?
Yeah.
A week away at the moment of recording. And he has a request, and he's asked everyone to pledge allegiance to him during the coronation. And they want the people of the UK, and obviously I'm guessing the Commonwealth as well,
they said
to say these words. And by me saying them,
don't say them.
okay, cool. Well, the general gist of it is just saying that, you know, you swear your allegiance to, like as you would in the US, to the flag, to King Charles and his children and their children, and swear it to God.
The ritual.
I mean, the audacity.
So it's him, his children, and their children.
Yes.
3 generations.
Three generations.
And this is the first time as well.
What about Camilla?
This is the first time,
that it's ever. But not only that, this is the first time that he's invited all religions to do it.
Because he needs it to be embalmed.
It's just, to me, this is absolutely insane. He's got, as far as I'm concerned, this is like he's decrazed. Like I just don't, I can't put it into words how wild this sounds to me. Like that we in 2023, are being asked to swear allegiance to King Charles. Is this Game of Thrones? Are we going to battle?
Before, right?
It's never been done before. Like, what the hell is going on?
Needs to have his sovereign. He needs to have his sovereignty embalmed. So, and there's going to be millions of people that will do this.
They're going to do it and not even
think about the energy that's going to create. He ain't going anywhere. He's put it in. That's just a ritual. We are going to... A coronation is a ritual anyway. But then adding in... So, obviously, they must know. Our source is drying up. The world is changing. We have to re-embalm ourselves into everybody's psyche. That's a spell.
Yes,
and there's going to be people that are going to, partake in it. It's going to be an interesting one.
My TV will be off.
To try and avoid the spell.
All the energy. Nothing. I don't want to hear it. Don't want to know. I wasn't going to watch the coronation anyway.
Yeah.
Not partake. But definitely, I don't know what we can do as black people to counteract any energies that come out of that.
Do you honestly...
Sage, incense, talk to every ancestor. You know what is true? Speak to every ancestor that you hold dear.
It's true.
And just reconnect. I think on that day, black people reconnect so importantly to your spiritual realm.
I have a...
No, do you know what? I was just going to say...
What date is it?
Is it not numerology? You're going to come do some numerology stuff?
I'm not going to do numerology. But whenever they're doing big rituals... That means that there is something.
A shift.
There's a shift.
Yeah.
So then you also have to tap into it. So it's like actually there'll probably be a whole load of people doing drumming circles because they'll know that there is magic
Find
around.
your local drumming circle.
Go to the forest.
Go to the forest. Find something. Touch nature. Touch a tree. Touch something that's pure.
Go to the forest though.
I'm not doing.
Find your own forest.
I'm not going to do any of that. But what I will say is that really, guys out there, like I'm speaking to you who have maybe mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles. Tell them not to do this, please. Do you know what I mean? Like, tell them not to do this. I'm hoping that they understand that by doing this and calling on God to do this is actually a blasphemy. It's a blasphemy. Do you know what I mean?
To swear to God.
Yeah. Is he King Henry?
Swear to God.
King Henry VIII.
Like,
this is what this is.
Didn't even do this.
What King Charles? What have you done to deserve this level of accolade and introduction to?
He's
because
an environmental warrior. For real, what has Charles done?
What has he done?
What has he done? Nothing.
Literally.
You know what? I know as a kid, he's been waiting for this day.
Oh,
he's
always.
been waiting for this moment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it mine.
Yeah.
Like seriously, for
No,
generations to come.
do that.
Exactly. Oh my God.
He doesn't have long as well.
That's why
he's not going to have as long as
How old is
his
Charles?
mum.
Hold on, wait. How old is Charles?
He's in his
That is why
70s.
They're making us swear.
How long was his mother and his grandma last?
His gran was 100. His mum was 96.
Yeah.
His dad was 99. He's got some
He's
time
got 20.
left.
No, he's got
Odd
20.
years on
But
him.
when you think of
Nah.
his mum's reign with 70 odd,
That he's not doing that.
he's not going to...
He's not have that much of a reign, but there's a lot he's squeezing in.
But so you're really trying to solidify, I am king. Because it could end with Charles. There was loads of talk about
I
that.
think
Like,
it's
it could end with him, but he needs to reaffirm it.
us, like, because the religious numbers are dwindling anyway.
Yeah.
Like, what are we really looking at? Do you know what I mean?
But people
because I
watching
just
it at
don't think
home.
that the monarchy is popular. I think this is almost like to pretend like it is. Like, this is a massive thing that's going to happen, and people are not going to do it. Do you know what I mean? I think it's just like
Who are the people that you're banking
Yeah,
on?
that's what I'm
I just think like
intrigued.
the average person is
The
not
average
gonna.
white British person.
Yeah, they're not gonna do this.
They are.
Oh,
No, I'm not.
They are.
They're not.
Charlotte.
They're not.
Why have you got faith in these people?
I know. I'm astounded.
I
Did you
just
not
think
see the
it's
queues to see the Queen?
The-
A
look,
box.
the people
They were.
Yeah,
they
but
were
that's
in
the
squares.
Queen. This is
Yeah, and
not.
those are just like
This is
being blind
not.
loyalty
This is
to
not the
royal
Queen.
family.
This is
I
Charles.
feel
No,
like they
I'm
are.
telling you.
They are. They're
They
gonna-
can, like,
I
the,
don't
the
know.
press,
Respect
the press
Queen.
are doing the most as well. Like, the king for the times, the king for the ages.
Yeah.
What I'm
They're doing
hoping,
the
I'm
most.
I'm just hoping this is another step in the downfall of monarchy. I hope that he is the undoing of all of it. I hope he is the disappointment that we've been waiting for. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I really hope it dies on his hands.
You know, they despised this woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few good opportunities in the press, all of a sudden it's Queen Camilla. Do you remember they were saying she wasn't even going to be queen? They weren't going to give her that
Yeah,
title.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Charles
Now
was
she's
like,
Queen-
just
now
wait,
she's
baby.
Queen Camilla.
Just wait,
You know,
babes. I got you.
She was in it for the long haul, but it's just
They're not going anywhere. I'm telling you, this is.
Honestly,
it's
God.
ritual. I
We're all-
guarantee you,
it's just-
if you
oh
were to
my
look
God.
into it, and Nana, I'm going to leave this to you. I'm pointing at you because you're good with numbers and all of that kind of. I bet there is a real significance.
Yeah.
To the date,
To
the
the
time,
date, the time,
everything.
everything.
Definitely.
Ritual, like you said,
They
the
always
energy
do.
that they're capturing from these people.
I
They
think
don't. They
it's-
don't pick dates arbitrarily. Like
No,
they
everything's
literally
like-
everything
just-
is a pattern.
see, because there's only so much, like the energy prices are not going down, right? What do you call it? Wages are not raising. People are losing jobs left, right, and centre. Like, we're going back to a place when we were young. Do you know what I mean? When it was like Thatcherism. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was like extremely difficult for people, and people were struggling. And it's going to be tenfold now. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, I just don't know how much this is going to last. And maybe this is what they're trying to use to bring together the people.
Yeah,
but then
generally, yeah.
the thing is, it's just like the opulence of it is just not. It's not the right time, bro.
But you give folks a
Do you know what I
party,
mean?
they love it.
And you know what? By the way,
Well,
there are lots of rich white men who are telling Britons to accept that they're poor.
Oh yeah, I heard. I
The
saw
head of
that.
the Bank of England.
Yeah.
Chief economist Hugh Pill, 'cause this is what I've heard, says workers should stop asking for better wages and businesses should stop trying to cover rising costs by hiking up prices. And also, last year, Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey was widely criticised after saying workers should not ask for big pay rises to try to stop prices rising out of control. Back to Mr. Hugh Pill, the chief economist, he said someone needs to accept that they're worse off and stop trying to maintain their real spending power by bidding up prices, whether higher wages or passing energy costs to customers. What we're facing now is a reluctance to accept that we're all worse off. That pass the parcel game is generating inflation. By the way, the Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey was paid $495,000 in the year 28th of February 2022, whilst Hugh Pill was paid $88,000 for his first 5 months and 24 days, according to the central bank's annual report, taking his annual salary to $180,000. Are the rich white men right? Is it our fault for asking for more money to pay for our bills?
yeah, they're right.
What?
You know, when that came out, I was like, these people really are just trolling our existence.
Yeah.
Like, we are mere ants to them. Like, you can just say anything. Like, there was nothing in there for energy companies having their best years
Right.
at these moments. Like, it's got nothing to do with cost. You're just taking all the money for yourselves. Nothing about that. It's like,
Taxes.
accept it. Basically, turn over, bend over, and accept what we're giving you. That's what we're living. It's how
And
it's going to
this is
go.
why-
So they're not wrong, actually. This is life. Maybe we should accept it. Or what are we going to do about it?
I don't think we can accept it because we are a society is driven by consumerism. So unless they're going to change how they message us and the demands of us and our whole lifestyle, like unless that's going to change, then no, we can't accept it, because you've conditioned us to behave this way. You conditioned us to live paycheck to paycheck, to buy unnecessary things, to, do you know what I mean? Like, that's what you've conditioned us to do. So how?
And how can
So
you...
if we're succumbing to it, that's basically what he's saying. This is life. Stop complaining. Stop your noise.
But also he's
Stop
saying, but then how do
No.
you... Okay, but
It doesn't
then
mean I have to like
the
it.
cycle is mad, because he's saying, don't ask for more money. Stop asking for a pay increase.
Yeah.
So everybody should just stop. But if I can't afford to pay my bills, and if businesses who can't afford to pay their bills stop hiking up their prices, what then stops?
Because that's
what then
not
changes?
the truth. Because big business is all they care about. Big business
exactly.
are putting up their prices to increase their profits.
Exactly.
They can survive.
Yeah.
So all of the smaller people, it's just accept this.
But it was also
That's it.
accept the fact that you're poorer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's
it.
But
just
also
like,
accept the fact...
It's just the insult.
Accept the fact that you
are poorer.
Yes.
yeah.
I'm not, by the way.
I'm
No.
not poor.
I'm making
And I've accepted the fact that I'm not poor. Why can't you accept the fact that you are poor?
But also
That's
accept the
what I'm
fact that,
Just
by
go
the way,
away, little fly.
if my wages don't cover the costs of my living, and I then end up in jail, my family is broken,
I think
someone
probably
dies,
dead.
accept that.
every MP that has to decide,
Should.
what we're living on, they should actually have to, for a year,
Yeah.
live on what you're telling
Yeah.
people that there is a minimum
Yeah.
wage.
Yeah.
And
They
look
should
at how
have
their
to, and
standards
have to
of
live
living
in those
is.
standards as well. We live in those properties, and this is what you've got. Because until you have an idea of what it really means to fucking struggle,
Yeah.
you've got no right to tell me what
Yeah.
anything.
But even
anything.
that, I do agree with that to an extent. But even you have people who come from working class backgrounds, as it were, they get rich and forget, or like, I don't care again, because they, for whatever happens when they get to that level, that pay bracket, that makes them feel like,
It's
it doesn't
individualism. I think
Yeah.
it's just like it's the culture as well. We're taught to protect ourselves first.
Yeah.
And then everybody else, if you can. And in a way, it is kind of smart. Like, you can't help people if you're not in a position yourself. Do you know what I mean? But like, it's just the lack of empathy. It's the lack of compassion. The lack of awareness. It's the lack of. Do you know what I mean? Like, just not taking care of your fellow neighbor. Like, it's
Yeah.
that kind of thing. That doesn't need to happen.
we've been,
It
but
is.
we have accepted it. But
I
this
know,
is the
but
thing,
it's just like,
Yeah.
there's so many signs that we live in a dictatorship. Like,
It's-
every day there's a sign. Who fucking wants this coronation? We don't want this coronation.
But
No.
it
Who
is what
actually
it is.
fucking
We're being
wants it?
told what to do.
250 mil on a coronation, yeah? And you lot can't pay the nurses. You've got nurses and teachers and doctors and all these people fucking striking, yeah? And you lot are pissing money up the wall.
But you
You're
don't think there's a
literally pissing
breaking
up the wall.
point. You don't think there's
No,
a
but
breaking
what
point?
is our break? Because
No?
I think even I saw
but
someone
what's-
celebrating
Go on.
the riots in France, and then I saw, because I'm like, go France, go France. But then someone else, I don't know, just a passing comment, it made me think like, yeah, but that's what French people do. So even their rioting, what does it amount to? Because the world government's just gonna government how they government.
French people get so much more
Yeah.
than
Yeah, they
most
do.
people in
Yeah,
Europe
yeah.
because
Because of their riots. I
Yes.
just wanted to check
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
We don't have a breaking
It's
point.
changed.
Yeah.
What is our breaking point?
There
Remember,
isn't.
one of the biggest protests was the poll tax when we were
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
We have council tax. It wasn't.
All they did was
wasn't
change
changed.
it.
they
It
just
wasn't changed.
they
But we don't burn.
established it.
French people burn things.
But we don't. That's why I'm saying we don't have a breaking point. We will accept this, and we will all turn around and bend over, and they're going to do what they're
It'll
going
be down to the immigrants.
Because the other
it's
thing-
be down to the immigrants to do the
But
breaking
the other
point.
thing
Well,
is,
the
as well,
thing is-
how?
let's not forget this.
I'm not going to finish.
Even protesting. Look at the laws
Yeah.
that are being passed
Yeah,
in the Houses of Parliament
Yeah.
now. They are actually putting laws into place where we cannot protest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they deem it to be disturbing the peace, which a fucking protest does, that is the art of protesting.
Yeah.
That you are disturbing the peace, so you're getting your point out there.
Mm-hmm.
They are making laws where it is you can't protest.
Yeah.
So how are we ever supposed to even fight if you're not allowed to protest? You get done for protesting.
When I say it's down to the immigrants,
Everybody
I meant
has
that the spirit and nature of people of other cultures is less apathetic than the British or the UK culture. That's what I'm saying would be down to people like us to do it, and it would be the immigrants who haven't been brainwashed by the British culture, because their spirit is different, and that's why they could tell them even
but
more.
the thing is, they're not gonna come. They're not gonna come here anymore.
Well, there's that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna stop. It's not desirable. Well, the UK is not desirable
really
as a
not.
place to settle down at the moment.
I don't
like
think-
it hasn't been desirable for a while.
Immigrants do that though. When an immigrant goes to another country, it's usually for economics, and it's head down to the grind, and you work.
I get
you don't
that.
protest.
I'm saying the spirit.
Yes,
it's that spirit.
right.
But I get it, because they come in and they're trying to get their head down. But I'm just saying, their natural spirit. It would be for me that kind of knowing what they've come from, that kind of energy is what we need. But if they weren't, again, oppressed to think.
I don't
I don't know.
working.
No. I don't mean head down working. I'm thinking about the natural cultural spirit, because they're from a different space. Like, it's like a French person coming from France and not being scared of because he's got to kind of get his head down and go under the radar. That spirit, like, come on, guys, get riled up. I'm thinking it's that.
I think that works in your home country.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know. I understand. I'm just saying that just that spirit.
So you want,
so not necessarily that they would do it. I'm not saying they should do it. I'm saying the spirit that they come
you
from.
should
The
be
energy
more
they
like the
come
French.
from, or an immigrant that comes from a country that energy is more recognizable.
I understand that, but
I'm not saying that
happen.
happen. I'm just saying
because
idealistically.
I think you get beaten down.
That's
yes.
But
you can't. You've got too much to lose.
One of you made a point as well.
No,
like,
I know,
it's not.
yeah.
This country isn't as attractive as they make it out.
No,
to.
definitely.
So when they're talking about the millions of people that are going to come and all the floodgates, it's not real.
People
it's
don't
not
want
fucking real.
People don't want to come here.
It's expensive to live here.
Yeah.
Like what you can go to another European country and you can be better off there than you can here, because it's just fucking expensive.
Yeah.
The people that are actually residing in here and have British passports, we are struggling.
We don't want to be here.
We don't even want to be
If
here.
we had a choice, if we had the opportunity,
I want to be here, but
I'll
I don't
be
want to
off.
be here at the same time.
I think that's
I'll be
probably
off, mate.
is the act of rebellion, is to leave. If a mass exodus took place,
Yeah.
then they would start to look at actually, because you need people.
Yeah.
So if we all started going, for one day would probably stop us.
That's what I was going to say.
There's that, because at the end it's down to the immigrants, because the immigrants to leave this country.
There's the control of that. They actually wouldn't let us.
Yeah.
They make it.
But I think that would be the shift. They do things. I think definitely like late 2000s when loads of people were moving back to Ghana, and then they started to increase light off in Ghana, so lots of people came back again. They'll do things. They'll just change.
Destabilize the home.
They do.
country
Visa
destination.
status. It'll be like you can't get there.
Pensions and stuff like that. You can't. How
long
claim
you're
your
away.
pension in the same sort of way. So say like your pension's £100 a week. They'll tell you, well, you're only going to get 50 if you're not here.
Yeah.
It's like little
These
things like
the
that.
expats that are in Spain are all good.
Yeah, they're good.
They would stop us definitely.
Definitely.
They
There's
did
ways.
similar with Pakistan. But lots of like the trade, like leather merchants, they were going back because obviously the leather trade ended here.
Yeah.
And then they destabilized Pakistan, so you couldn't really just move back there because then, especially near to Kashmir, it's like they were warring. They set things up so that once you have settlers here, you don't want them to leave.
Do you want to get onto the Sudan situation?
Okay, yeah. Speaking of what they do,
yeah.
So I have a friend, Rozan. Some of you may know her. On IG account is I am Rozan, and it would be great to follow her as well. She is out of Sudan now, but she was in Sudan when the war broke out, and was sharing her story as to there just being zero humanitarian help, and she was trying to get out as a British citizen, but also just where is the help for the Sudanese people. And then it's gone around that again, as they do. This is basically America versus Russia, and they're using Sudan as their proxy war.
Yep.
That's where it is. So it's like two generals. One is being funded by the Americans, the other's being funded by the Russians, destroying the country, like totally, and from nowhere as well, because Sudan had actually kind of got a bit more stable. But at this moment in time, it's like they're just absolutely warring all through Ramadan. No ceasefires. They do a ceasefire. I think she said it lasted 6 hours. And so she couldn't leave at that point. Managed to get out eventually now though. But it's just, where's the noise? We're like,
Where's the noise?
Who is covering this? This is a full-out war.
Yeah, because the violence, the mainstream story is that it's just the tensions around transition from military to civilian rule. But that's the mainstream story. And then, as you said, it's actually America warned Sudan not to deal with Russia, where Russia could have their naval base in their waters.
Yeah.
And they went ahead and did so. Bam, bam, bam. This is what's happening.
Like literally 2 weeks after that deal was done, and then all of a sudden the country's in war. And you're trying to sell it to us that this is just two factions within Sudan.
But this is what I found really interesting, and it actually disgusted me as well. And it just goes to show, Sudan is not the first country or the only country that's going through this at the moment. And the reason why I was so disgusted, one, because you're not hearing the real truth about why it's happened. Yeah, you've got people there struggling to get out, and the British government is doing fuck all to help them.
Yeah,
they're saying, we don't know, we've been abandoned. This is British people living in Sudan. We have been abandoned. No one is helping us. No one's talking to us. And then the British government is saying, oh, we can't do anything while these attacks are going on. Let's cut to Ukraine. Now, so much noise. Save Ukraine. Everywhere you go, on all the apps, on all the things that you pay for, donate to Ukraine, do this, that, and the other. The noise about it is still going on. Ukraine are saying they're running out of weapons. The British are
Here we go, everybody
fighting to give them more weapons. Here we are. We stand with you. Why do you stand with them? Why are you giving these people weapons to fight in a war when you're not doing it openly across the globe?
Yeah.
You have British people, and you always say you're for British people, right? Struggling to get out of a country that's in turmoil at the moment, and you're doing nothing, and you're saying nothing, and your silence is fucking loud.
Like, absolutely
it's
shocking.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
because it's exactly the same thing. But also, that whole have a Ukrainian person come and live with you. When have they ever done that for anybody else?
Anybody else?
For anybody else, never.
It's so disgusting that it's like, I can't actually believe we're a part of this world. But it's the levels of just in your face.
For me, it's the levels of it's a puppet mastery of our home countries that on a whim that the West doesn't give a damn. We will just play this. We're not going to destroy our country. Oh, no. We can just do it in Africa. It's okay. And this is like when we want to, like, imagine Sudanese are trying to diasporan Sudanese people who want to rebuild their country and re-energize its economic value and status in the world. Going back home now, how can they do that? And this is the kind of thing they'll do on a whim if we start to, like, okay, you know what, let's go back home and rebuild.
This is what we were just talking
about.
That's
what I'm saying. That's how it all feeds in. It all ties in.
Yeah, definitely.
They gave them 6 hours. They said, you've got 6 hours to catch this flight. They gave them 6 hours, and this was like after days of no communication.
It was like set 8 days. At one point, she was saying she was actually, I guess it must have been like a basement bunker in a house, and that's where they were. Again, it's like, she travels around, has literally like status as an ambassador. Really, Rozan does, and she is suffering that way. So the average person there, you don't have security. At least she was able to like travel out, but most people. And then she was showing the borders with Egypt, pandemonium again. Where is everybody helping this situation? It's just like you've just abandoned people because it's in Africa.
And where's the news coverage?
But this is the thing, even down
it's crazy.
It's the apathy of us as in general, and especially when it comes to wars back home. We don't like, even, and I know not to say that it's on us to do anything. It's always on the black people or people of color or whatever the case is to change the world. It's not that, but also we've been kind of brainwashed or sleepwalking into just existing every day and not complaining, or not complaining, protesting against these things, because we should be out there saying stop the war.
I think it's scary, the lack of other African countries actually coming to their aid as well, because this is so pivotal, because it is Russia and America basically fighting within African soil.
Exactly.
So if you just allow them to bully a country like this and destroy it, that's going to be every country.
They are bullied, but they are, because every country in Africa is bullied by the West. They are.
So you kind of, this is an all-out war taking place. When are we going to make a stand?
That's
like, whose country does it need to happen to before everybody is like, you know what, we need to do a China and kick you all out?
I was going to say China.
Like when are we going to get there?
And imagine the biggest continent in the world.
Yeah, but look what they've done to it.
But that's what I'm saying.
But when do we have our breaking point?
When's
that going to take place? When do we get there? When everyone's on their knees and they are like, you know what, we can't do this.
Certain countries, they are on their knees already.
So maybe it's like us over here. We
But
don't
then
have a
they
breaking
do
point.
that.
But they, you know, when countries do that, especially when African countries do that, they just try to destroy them.
And they
Zimbabwe,
Yeah, they call them
Tell them
dictators.
they got rid of Gaddafi
exactly.
and all those
Exactly.
type of
They call them
things.
dictators,
You know.
and then they kill them.
But if
I mean, like,
everybody
I think-
stands up against it.
Yes, that's the ideal.
Yeah.
That's the ideal. But which leader that's not gonna?
But the thing, I think it's also the threat of nuclear war.
Yeah, and they
that's
will
the
do
thing,
that
and
too.
that's the thing. It's just like once you have that, it's a real threat.
And the fact that they
isn't it?
remember there was a time when they were telling like Africa, you know, put down your nuclear. You can't be doing your research.
Yeah,
Can't
I
be doing your
always find
testing.
it
I
hilarious
hope
that-
they are doing it anyway.
I
I'm
hope
sure
so.
they would be,
We
but at the
just
same
don't
time,
know.
it's like
Absolutely.
Just to
Hope
even
that
the
they
playing
are, because
field.
the countries that want to tell the rest of the world not to have nuclear weapons are the countries
That
that
have
have got
them.
the most.
Most
America
stockpiles.
are the only country that have ever used a nuclear weapon in active war, and they have the most.
yeah.
Yes,
But you want to be telling everybody else what to do.
and this is
All right.
It's sad though, isn't it?
Auntie,
It's
did you have a
actually
pop
annoying.
culture story?
Yes, I do. All right, so shall we discuss Amelia Chicken Shop?
What's going on with Amelia Chicken Shop?
The host of the Chicken Shop show on YouTube, has been named top 3 content creator by Rolling Stones magazine. They do note a few of the rappers that have been on her show, and also put in there Daniel Kaluuya was on there as well, doing an interview with her. And because of her gritty urban style, you know, she is the top content creator.
I have never contributed to her channel ever, and I never will.
Oh, you haven't given her one view? I hold my hands up. I have given her a couple
I've
of
given
views.
her like half a view.
I think I've seen clips by accident on social media, and every time that show comes up, I will click not interested,
Yeah,
so I don't
make
see
sure-
it again.
Make sure don't.
I
come
just
up on
don't want
my
it in
feed.
my feed. I don't want anything in my feed.
Why
I
don't we like
follow.
her?
You know,
Because I think it's the thing is, yeah, at the time when the show, because it's 9 years old, right? She's been doing it for 9 years. At the time it came out, yeah, there was a lot of content being created, obviously, as always, kind of thing, but it was like a pivotal moment where content was being created and stuff. And the fact is, it's just like, it's a very simple idea that you go onto this thingy. But if that was being put forward by a black person, it would not have been greenlit in the same way, or would not be embraced. Let me not say greenlit. It would not be embraced in the same way, right? And that's fundamentally what I've always had an issue with it. It's not necessarily her per se, do you know what I mean? It's what she represents, and the fact that she has privilege and access and is able to, you know, play off the fact that she's in this space, do you know what I mean? And she can act this way, do you know what I mean? And pretend that she doesn't, you know, have this whole it's the whole there's layers to it.
Yeah.
It's the persona, it's the access, it's just
It's
everything
the chicken
about
shop.
it. It's the chicken,
And
it's the
you're not-
location,
yeah.
and you're not of the culture.
Right.
You are doing nothing to really support, like, you haven't done you see, like in music, yeah, when you have people outside our culture that into it, at least, even if you might not agree, at least they do their dues, right? Do you know what I mean? If they're good, they're talented, do you know what I mean? That they are, you know, they
Pay homage.
yes,
Yeah.
basically, kind of thing. The good ones will do that
Yes.
anyway.
Yeah.
I just don't get the same vibe from this girl at all. And the thing is, it's just that she is, by brands, the acceptable face for urban. I'm going to even call it urban and not black.
Yeah.
Actually, in
Yeah.
this moment, for urban culture,
Yeah.
she is the acceptable face. A non-black person is the acceptable face of the culture that we've created.
which has been
That is
standard.
insane. So she joins the list for me as Tim Westwood, Charlie Schaaf. It's her as
David
well.
Rodigan.
She's another one. She's in that bucket that you are the acceptable face, and that is primarily why I have a fundamental problem for her show and what she stands for.
And I think what definitely everything you said, Aunty Sade, and what pisses me off is when I wouldn't say just black women, but there's a bunch of black women that called this out from day one, but we were deemed haters, jealous. And when Zeze Mills made a point to say, in her early days of trying to get people to come on her show, she would get rebuffed. She'd get turned down. I know in the days of doing British Blacklist, trying to get people in, it wasn't never as black as white as that, but it was like, maybe you're not going to get us to the levels. So it's that thing of our culture being sold out because you want to get famous, basically. And it was, again, black men going through her chicken shop, sitting on those dates, allowing her to kind of mock the culture slightly as well, because she's playing dumb and playing into, like, she's talking to you like you're dumb, and she's playing dumb, and you're sitting there allowing it for jokes because you think you're going to get those views, going to boost your career, selling out the culture for this chick. And then you would turn down a ZZ or as someone who's black, because you're thinking you're not going to get the access in as quick as going on this white, because you know that the white girl's going to get you to a further point. All of that, and she not acknowledging the culture in a way. Did you march? Did you put up even if you didn't put up a black square? I don't want you to do that. But what have you done for the culture to ensure that there are other people that are getting access the same way you did, Amelia? And it's not that I'm hating on her, but I get tired of white folks in our space not giving due diligence. And also, don't do it. I don't want you to do it. Go to a cafe, bring anyone into a cafe. Why don't you go and exploit your
coffee shop dates?
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But do that then. Go to the fucking cafe shop.
But it wouldn't get the views, would it?
And go and talk to Tarquin, who's whatever. But you know that I don't know how innocent she was in exploiting that. And I don't know.
Is it on her?
And it's not just her.
I feel like it's the guys.
Her people. It's the people that support it and stuff.
Yeah.
But also as well, it's the brands and the companies that be like,
that's what
it's
I like.
her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for her over. I don't want to call out specific names, but over another content creator that's black or another one. And to be put on this list, are you absolutely mad?
I was so surprised.
Are you absolutely mad?
This is the part that gets me. This new
She paid for that. Someone paid for that.
Let
me know if
like whoever she's got working for her at the moment doing her PR, they're on stuff.
She was on the red carpet.
Yeah,
she's been on 2 red carpets.
Yeah.
She did the Golden Globes, and I think she did.
Weren't she at the Vanity Fair after party?
Yeah, she was.
She's been about at the moment.
Yeah,
and she's being recognised by these people. That's why I'm surprised, but not even surprised that Rolling Stone have caught on to her, because her PR, the people behind her, they're now trying to push her to this next stage.
Yeah. Where she'll have her own kind of show.
She ain't going to be sitting in no chicken shop in a minute.
No.
You're not going to see her doing that. She's going to have a chat show. It's
America.
going to be all shiny, glossy. James Corden's fucked off. She's going to be the new Brit.
Yeah, she could definitely take
easily
over that slot.
And that is where, when we talk about racism, when Aunty Diane Abbott was trying to explain what racism means in her letter, how it affects black people, what racism is to black people versus to other ethnicities and the issues that they face. This is exactly what it is. This is what this access that Amelia's getting and being the face of and being able to take off her black cape and put on her white cape now and become a white girl. It's like when people come through the hip hop culture and then like, you know what, shake that off, made my money, got given the cool factor, and now I'm into rock or pop, and I've just totally turned my back on being down and saying yo or whatever. This is what it is, and this is what people refuse to understand.
I'm listening to you guys and I have similar views, but at the same time it keeps on popping back into my head. The guys and we are to blame for this.
I get
like,
that.
there's
we.
I'm talking about we as in black folks, because we give the credence to these content creators and then they go, and we keep on seeing it happening time and time again, but nobody shuts it down. So even
because
from Rodigan, the guy is literally almost 100 years old, but all of the reggae stars were going to him, to Ragga, to Bashment, but he could have everybody. He has literally 40 years worth of artists giving him drops. Nobody was doing that for 279, and it's these things. It's black folk. Like, we're going to do it, and I don't get why still we don't have this mass thought process and reconditioning that we also are racist. We actually are anti-black. So it goes hand in hand. Only to have anti-black thoughts. Would you think I'm going to go on a white person's show and build them up, but I won't do that for a black person?
I don't know if it's that.
Who's more willing to have that
What
conversation?
else is it?
Who's more willing to have that conversation about being anti-black? Black women or black men? And that's where the problem lies.
I think most black people do not want to discuss their anti-blackness. It's easy to disguise it in colorism. It's easy to paint
who
that.
finds it more easy to have those conversations? I think black women have these conversations a lot more than black men, because I think there's a lot of things for women get targeted about how we feel about everything about ourselves, insecurities about size, shade, hair texture, facial features, all those type of things. We delve into those things, maybe not completely as anti-blackness, but we definitely explore it. But for a black man to admit that I don't like myself, that tears down so much insecurities that they're not ready to deal with. And I think black men don't have those conversations, because when we say, why do you always have light-skinned girls? Why do you only have white girls? Why is this? Just even the simple conversation about who you date is not addressed as anti-blackness. It's just like, I like who I like. And that falls into everything. To say that, actually, why did pearly things get a bly? Why? It's like that conversation, only a few hoteps that will have those conversations, and they're dismissed in our culture. I mean, rightly or wrongly, whatever. But actually, the everyday black man, rightly, I understand, just because... Sorry, let me not.
I don't, but yeah.
Because they do the work and then they undo the work. It's that. For the everyday black man who's in a position of power, who thinks I'm just making money, who are aspiring to be like the capitalist white man, they're not looking at the nuances of just dismissing the culture or selling out the culture, because they're trying to make money and their goal is to be like the capitalist white man.
I get it. The delusions are there on both sexes, though. But I don't think the conversation is had either way. I think most people hearing this thought are going to be like, you're absolutely wrong. And I would challenge anybody, what is the alternative then? Why is this a reoccurring theme continuously?
And then people will say we can all eat.
Not to take validation away from what you're saying. I think I need to think about it. But I do think, though, that what we have... all these people that we've mentioned anyway, they've come at different points, right? And I think with every generation or every kind of like young group of people, they kind of want to see the best in a situation. They don't want to be seen as exclusionary or any sort of thing. And they see it as like the very kind of surface level that this girl is trying to do the thing. And we're not bad people. Because I think people are obsessed with not wanting to be seen as bad. They want to be seen as good and like inclusive and like, yeah, of course. Do you know what I mean? And they don't see the dangers of what is being done in that moment. And I think that is, it's for most people, they're not going to look much deeper than that, because they just want to see the goodness. Do you know what I mean? In it. And I just don't think that, sorry, what I'm trying to say is like, I do understand that, but I think like with age, you just see this happen over and over and over again. And I wish that young people would actually listen to what we're saying, that this is never a good thing. It is always going to harm us in the long term. That's what's going to happen. So I think it's just...
Absolutely. I definitely agree with that, because I'm sitting here and I'm listening to all of you. And I think most black people, it isn't... When you look at it, it looks very surface level, isn't it? When you look at what she's doing, it's all very surface level. Oh yeah, it's fun and games. When you look at a lot of the other people that you've named, when they started in this area, people probably thought, oh, that's really cool. They didn't see where it can go to. So if you're in it and you just see it on a surface level, you're going to embrace it. And we as black people, we are very much like, oh, come, join the party. Do you want some food? Like, do you want a drink? We are welcoming, aren't we? That's our nature. That nature is why we've got ourselves into positions where we've got to throughout history, because we don't take the time to look at it like, where could this go? And I suppose that's what we need to do. We need to be more protective of our culture. I don't necessarily think it's that we hate us. Everybody hates on ourselves. I think a lot of people are just taking it like, come and join the party. It's not that bad. She's not that bad. Where's it go? They're not thinking about where it's going to go.
But do you know what? I think it is in also, if you're going to do Amelia's show and you're saying no to the black girl doing the same thing, what is that?
Okay,
and also,
yeah,
and also,
the dichotomy.
Can I also say,
these people do say no to other people's
I understand
show.
that.
So that's why I'm saying we need to look at it like when we can't tarnish everybody with the same brush.
No, not everyone.
Yeah. Yes, there are some people that have done her show and haven't done other shows, but there are some people that have done everybody's show. Yeah. So
But this is the thing. So if you're doing both shows, it's the brands. That's why I hold the companies responsible, because they're the ones that actually then elevate that one person.
Yeah.
They're the ones that do it. They're the ones that give the opportunity. They're the ones that say they want that person on our red carpet and not the other person. Even if the person's doing more numbers, is more influential, has more popularity. Do you know what I mean? Is more. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the thing.
So then
It would that would make sense if that was how it always goes, and we could see modeled that it was always on the companies, but it's not, because in order to get that cultural cachet, you need the people
That
to go on your show.
I'm not saying it's all on the companies. I'm just saying
they
that's a
don't go
part
on
of
the
it.
other shows purposefully. Why is it that black media never succeeds, even though there are so many black entertainers? Because they don't see a value in it, and that is anti-black. You would hold up your own media, just that. You'd be like, I need my media to succeed because it's reflective of me. But you will walk past them on a red carpet and you'll go and talk to E. It happens all the time. It's like, we can't always put it at White George.
I've experienced both sides. So there's an element of, we need to be in a level for us to value what we're doing, and it's a very chicken and egg scenario. When I first started the British Blacklist, I was at the end. There's a cluster with the onlines where you're all in a cluster fighting to maybe have one person speak to you. You slowly move up. I have worked hard and fought to get the British Blacklist at the higher end of the red carpet, where it's going to be harder for us to be missed. We have had people move us around. We've had people walk past us, but we've also had people stop, make sure that we speak to them. Femi Ogans, especially when he's on the red carpet, he brings his clients straight to us. It has been a journey, and it is definitely about, and I always say to people, don't take offence when people don't respond to you, because you have to build your cultural cachet for people to respond to you, and that's just what it is. That's anybody across the board. You have to do the work, put in the work for people to respect what you're doing. So there's an element of that in business anyway. You have to get to the standards that people appreciate what you're doing. However, for black platforms, and especially when you're in a space of black culture, it is harder for us to prove to our people that we're worthy because of, could be anti-blackness, because of the undervaluing of who we are as people. We don't trust it. We don't trust it ourselves. And there's individualism that we've talked about. There's a lot of judging that we do to each other as black people that we might not do to as you said, we could have chicken shop Agnes, chicken shop Amelia, and people will veer to like, you know what?
Not Agnes.
I don't know why. I was going to say, I was trying to think of a name, a black name. I don't know why I said Agnes. I went church. Chicken shop Abner and then chicken shop Amelia. And people will bypass, possibly, might do a favour, but then they feel like, you know what? If I get on the Amelia train, I'm going to get seen and bigger
because
quicker.
of the system.
Because of the system. It is definitely that. But there's also something about us like pausing and being like, do you know what we're not going to do is do that? And it is hard, because I was going to say in this scenario, and to you as well, and because I'm agreeing with everything. But in that moment, Amelia, you get an invite. Come and do chicken shop. Do you say yes? Do you say no?
Yeah.
I'm just asking, for people out there.
Honestly,
what do you
I think you have to. Mm-hmm. You have to, because we've just seen it again.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Because really and truly, obviously, the thing is, I kind of don't want to say names because it's like direct comparison, but just for the sake of the example, like, do you know what I mean? Like, everywhere media is, Zizi should be there.
Yeah, she should.
100%. Yeah. Absolutely. Why was she there? That's the thing.
Yeah. You've been online. You've done some
working hard.
Some big interviews as well. But that Keke Palmer, like, would sat down with Amelia, and when you see the views and everything else like that, she has that access now to Hollywood, but Zizi doesn't. It's those types of things. It's actually then being very cognizant of who else is there? Who else is in that space? Yeah. And putting black first. That's the only way you go.
I agree with that, putting black first.
Do you see that? Let's take Keke Palmer. Keke Palmer, and this is where I'm going with you and the companies behind it and all that driving force. Keke Palmer don't know who Amelia is.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
She don't know. Keke Palmer, let me finish. Keke Palmer don't know who Amelia is. The people that are driving Keke Palmer to Amelia rather than driving her to Zizi, they're the ones to blame in that respect, because it's not like she's a British person who is in the community and understands what's happening. She's been told to turn up here. She's gone there, right? I think that unfortunately it's a little bit of both. Amelia has now got to the stage where she's become noticeable to these people financially, and they're putting her into more areas where she has access to these people, and that again is feeding into the Hollywood platform, and that's feeding into another thing, and that's feeding into Rolling Stone. That's how she's getting into these spaces.
Yes.
Can I just say that when we get asked, again, British Blackness has got itself into a position where we pretty much get to speak to everyone. However, there are questions that are asked, and sometimes we're told that, the person, and especially because we only deal with black celebrities or whatever, the black person has got limited time, so they're only going to do the top level platforms, right? And sometimes they do know, and sometimes they're made aware, and sometimes, especially depending on how big they are and how much control they have of who they speak to and where they speak to, because you've got some people like Will Smith will only do Graham Norton, or he'll only do certain spaces. I'm not saying he's dissed us or anything, I'm just saying some people are in control and are aware of who's out there. They might get a list of who's that, who's this, who's that. They'll get the numbers, who's that, do that. So there's an element of if you're PR, your publicist, you've got that relationship and you are in control of where you go and who you go to. There is an element where sometimes they do know. But you said
numbers.
I understand.
I
understand.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that there's an element of, if we're really talking about let's change this up, this is the solution, then every black celebrity globally who understands the journey, because this is what we're talking about when, politicians should do like a year of being poor and working class before they get into it. A lot of black celebrities haven't always come from middle class backgrounds. A lot of them have come from a working class background. So they absolutely know the struggle to get into the top. So they should understand, actually, I'm going to do this junket. Who are the black publications out there? And even if you do the top ones, and make sure you do the top ones, and I know some of them do say, I need to do a black publication for sure. Even if you do the top ones, you should ask your publicist, who are we speaking to? And not just go to Amelia because she's got numbers. Go to so-and-so black. And if you want to do Amelia as well, but make sure you do so-and-so black. And that's the solution. But some of them don't do that. They let themselves be dictated to, just go to here and there. They're not always as ignorant as what we think they're not. They do know. And some of them, as we do, will go for the numbers because we know that if we're on this white girl's platform that's got millions of views or whatever, we're going to get more views. And then it becomes that whole, it's about numbers, about money, it's about popularity and it's fame and it's ego, rather than remembering there are some black people out there, your people, who are struggling to get on the rung because we need it. We need the cachet. We need the numbers. And that's the part where actually holding ourselves accountable to the ecosystem that we need to restructure. Because that it feeds out into everything.
Yeah.
Black first all the time.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
I think that's all it is. But we have to have the conversation as to why. And we can deviate around it. And we have been. When are we going to discuss the why is it not that way? We can't keep on blaming the outside. Why are we not doing it? It's that.
Anything else? Or shall we move on?
We need to talk about Kylie Jenner.
Okay.
We need to talk about
Kylie Jenner. We've got a clip of the latest Kardashian saga that's going out. And in it, she's speaking to her sisters and she's like, we need to really discuss our beauty standards and what we're putting out there into the world because, my daughter.
I wish I never got anything done.
Yeah. So, for one, they're very aware of what they have put out into the world and how they've influenced. Yeah, they're aware of their influence. But it's kind of interesting that Kylie at this moment, because she has a daughter, is now being self-reflective on the surgery that she's had. Just wanted us to discuss this.
No, I don't think it's because she's an daughter. I think it's because of Sophia Richie. I think that they are seeing absolute decline. I think that her siding with Hailey Bieber over this Selena Gomez thing has hit her very negatively. She did not come out well against it. Against
that is, can you because you know the auntie that does not know any of this. Explain the whole story, please.
I know that there was a beef, but didn't Selena come out and say
can we explain it?
Yeah, she did.
All right.
You know what?
You got to go back.
Please.
I thought her face was like, what?
You know, I don't. This white nonsense. Come on.
I don't know all the details. Yeah, I'm not in the Kylie Hailey streets, and do you know what I mean, like that. But all I do know is that Kylie and Hailey are good friends. They do not like Selena. Selena's married to Hailey's married to Justin Bieber, who used to date Selena. So they are sworn enemies. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
So So like Hailey and Kylie and maybe Justine Skye, I'm not too sure, shaded Selena publicly on something. Maybe Selena's got some sort of like makeup line and they were just, I don't know, they shaded
It
her.
was over her eyebrows. They were poking. So you know this kind of like brushing your eyebrow so it looks brushed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Selena had the picture like that, and they apparently, I think it was Kylie, like next day, made reference to that eyebrow look, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's lame type of thing.
So it was very, very silly,
super
juvenile stuff, yeah. And
12,
Selena's fans. Selena is the most followed,
On
Yeah.
Instagram. She
on
is.
Instagram,
I didn't know that, you
in
know.
the
I knew
world,
that,
yeah,
in the world.
in the world.
You can't chat to
yeah.
Selena, you know.
Selena's fans, yeah, were like,
Hold on.
don't you fucking dare. Not our queen. Not our queen. And they just literally ran rampant on them. Like literally like started hate campaigns. Like
Was it
brands
death
were getting
threats?
involved.
Yeah,
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 death
death
threats.
threats.
Brands. I can't even remember what brand it was, but an actual brand. Like I'm not gonna say it's not Wendy's, but imagine Wendy's jumping into the mix saying we're team Selena.
Yeah.
Imagine. It wasn't. But yeah.
Wendy's is messy like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Wendy's
Do you know what I
is.
mean?
And Popeyes as
and
well.
Popeyes. But it was like that. Like people got involved. Like brands are getting involved. Yeah. So they. So then Selena had to come out and say, guys, let's all be kind. Don't hate anyone. And Hailey was just like, I've been really stressed lately. There's a lot going on, and all this kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So they hate each other.
She's been bullied.
So-
Don't hate each other.
Yeah, they said
Yeah, they both said we
yeah,
don't hate each
we
other.
don't hate each other. They do, but allegedly.
As we spoke, we're at a party,
Yeah.
everybody. Can you see us?
We're friends. We're friends. Like,
Literally, I swear.
Are you aware now?
I'm dying.
okay, so yeah, you're up to date.
Yeah,
That's
that's
in
it.
a
That was
nutshell.
the-
You're
that
up
was
to
the
date.
beef.
However, so
That was a beefer.
yeah, so like Kylie, of the backlash of that, has received some negative press. Like people don't like Kylie. They don't want to throw it by her makeup anymore. They're just
Right.
trashing her publicly on social media.
Okay.
In these social media
I didn't
streets,
hear
they've
that.
been
What's
trashing her.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Especially because it's childish and it's bullying at the end of the
Yes.
day. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so I think that Kylie's brand is taking a massive hit. Do you know what I mean? Because of all these things, and like we have a new it girl now in the form of Sophia Richie.
Sophia Richie, let's do a bit more backstory.
Oh, yeah.
So Sophia Richie is Nicole Richie's little sister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Nicole Richie and Khloe Kardashian were super best friends.
Yes.
Then Sophia Richie started dating Scott, who is
Yeah.
Disick.
who is Scott
Yeah.
Disick, who is what's
Courtney's.
her name?
Courtney's baby
Aunty
father.
Sade, right?
Okay.
So then they broke up, and then many years later. And then now she just got married to some rich who was he doing
Billionaire.
again?
He's a billionaire.
He's the son of the owner of music label.
Yeah, that's it. He's
Yeah.
a record producer
Or something,
Like,
yeah.
Elliot Grange.
Yes.
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, there you
So
go.
she's recently married.
So
to
yeah,
him.
so Sophia Richie is being held as like she's like a natural beauty. She's more conservative in the way that she
Yeah.
dresses. She's kind of seen as natural,
As a
like
normal
no
person
filler.
as well.
Like, do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
'cause she's
but they're trying to say
Beautiful,
that she's
but thin and
Yeah.
not the aesthetic like a Kardashian.
But they're trying to say that she is like this old money, like chic, and it's just like,
Right,
bro,
old
your
money.
dad is Lionel Richie.
She's
Your
not
money
old
is
money.
fucking new.
Yesterday.
It's new.
Your money's
yeah?
just around-
yeah,
your
literally
money
just
just
around the
dropped.
corner.
Yeah, so
and
relax.
Lionel, as all of the musicians, is not that prolific
No.
to be like
Well,
that's
he's-
old
he's-
money.
he's gonna be at the
And
King's
also-
coronation.
Yeah, but that's
Of
because I
course
was going
he
to
is.
say, I was getting to that because he needs money.
Yeah.
Lionel
Do you know what I
is
mean?
not old money. He still needs money.
Yeah,
That's what
he's still
Lionel
working
is, yeah.
out here. He's
He's-
still
this
doing
is
the
the
circuit.
thing.
Lionel's still paying off her mum.
So
Yeah.
who's, hold on, wait. So who's Sophia's friend?
Her brethren, like as
Yeah,
in
who's
her
crew?
friend
Who's her
circle.
crew?
Her crew
I
used
don't
to
know
be
her crew. I don't know her
her
crew.
crew used to be Kylie.
Oh,
Until she
is it?
started dating
Oh, yes,
Scott
yes,
Disick.
yes, yeah.
Okay,
So she
so
was
now
in that
she's
circle.
Actually, Kylie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's
So
all
yeah,
ancestral.
so Sophia has the attention. She has the media's attention at the moment, and she's
Right.
like really good on social media. Like instead of doing like the spread 5 weeks later when she got married, she was doing it in the moment,
Yeah.
like doing all that stuff, and people are absolutely lapping it up.
Responding.
So Kylie now must be thinking, oh shit, man. People liking her shit.
Right.
People like her. People think she's nice. Do you know what I mean? So she must be thinking, oh yeah, we need to change some stuff. So that's what I don't think it's anything to do with her being a mother. I think it's about her numbers. It's her perception, how people are treating her.
I think that's quite
did.
interesting actually as a shift with this
But we said I would.
Sophie Richie Sophia, is it?
Sophia.
Sophia Richie. I mean, that's an interesting. Let's see
Has,
what they change into.
Has Sophia got a bum bum?
No, not
No,
really.
she's small.
Not really.
She's just
She's
like,
slim.
petite.
Slim thing.
You know, like how small Nicole
Yeah, she's
is
like
now
Nicole.
as well.
Oh,
And
okay.
Yeah.
Courtney. She's more like Courtney.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because at the time there was lots of Courtney comparisons, weren't there?
yeah,
Yeah.
because they,
Yeah.
although she, I
prettier.
still can see a bit of black in her. Like, I think she,
In Sophia?
yeah,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
yeah, it's but very pale and blonde and
Yeah.
everything. But yeah, you can
she-
say. But more than anything, it was the admission of your
You've done
influence
too
on
much.
society. You know this, and you know that you've done too much.
Yeah, well, they have to know.
I think it was
mean,
that, and I think it was the admission of like, you've done too much to yourself. Too.
Yes.
Because she
That's
always
what-
tries to
yeah.
downplay that.
Yeah,
Influence of
oh, yeah,
society.
no, I
it was
didn't
that
do
part
think.
because before it was like, I just fill around my lips.
Yeah, that was what she was saying.
At first, for years, it was like I just draw around my lips.
Yeah.
and then it was like, I have had fillers.
Yeah.
and then she tried to like act like that's all that she's done.
Yeah.
So I think that clip for me was more about so you're owning your shit now.
Yeah, so now you are going to be
Yeah.
like, I have had a BBL.
Yeah.
I have had sculpting.
I've done it all.
I've literally changed my chin.
I've
Like,
done
I did.
it all.
Is
All
it
manner of
true?
stuff.
I don't know if this is. I'm sure it's not true, but I saw a headline saying that the Kardashians have renounced their attraction to black men. Was that a lie?
oh.
There was a. I wish I screen grabbed it. It was like.
I mean,
Anyway.
let's be real.
Well-
do you think they're ever going to come out and say,
I
renounce my attraction
Guys,
to black men?
I
They
guys.
have black children.
No, I
you
understand.
can't
Guys,
come out and say, I renounce
we're done.
black men.
We're done.
The proof is going to be in the pudding.
In who they
And I
take.
do think that
it's
Kim
their
is going
actions.
to be with another
Like,
white man.
I probably think she will,
Probably.
but Kim's always been with whoever. So I'm not even surprised by that. It's not even that I'm questioning who they're going to date. I'm questioning them coming out and saying, I renounce black men.
Well, we know that's not really
what I'm-
gonna happen.
that's
We know
what
that's
I'm
really
saying.
not gonna happen.
That's not happening.
But
I'm just saying
it's
there was
not
a
the renouncing
rumour,
as
yeah,
like
yeah.
a. But I do think they are going to no longer date black.
That's
I don't
fine.
know.
That's
I
absolutely
think
fine.
that is
but
going
the
to
thing is,
happen.
yeah, really, truly, if their brand is declining, okay, then that's
Yeah.
fine. Do you know what I mean? So you got to the height with black men,
Of
and then
course.
you
Testament
dropped off.
again.
So
And
you
then-
know,
and then you'll
using
find
us to get up
some
wherever they get to.
next set of dudes. Maybe they will move into those the billionaires that are out there that are going for black women when they get to that status. Maybe then they'll be like, actually, Kardashians kind of close, black adjacent. We're gonna go for them. Maybe they'll
Maybe.
just hook up with a whole load of billionaires.
maybe I think they're too out there. I just think they're I don't know, like because like you see like Naomi's past, Eve. Do you know what I mean? Like they've had even Rihanna.
Yeah.
they were billionaires, but they're very
Well, they had
private.
the billionaires in common,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yeah.
Rihanna and Naomi.
Oh right. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that billionaire was hot as well. He was a nice billionaire.
He's been out there.
Very nice billionaire.
Guys, time for 1, 2, 3.
Aunties know best. Aunties know best. Aunties know best. Okay.
Oh, we've got some exciting new news. We are working, that is Your Aunties Could Never, are working in collaboration with WAP magazine, WAP magazine, with their new Agony Aunts. And we're going to solve all, well, their reader dilemmas, but all your dilemmas too, because you can send them into them as well. Yeah, going forward. So let's get into it. And by the way, quick disclaimer, we're not professional experts or qualified therapists. So please, these are just our opinions. Also, some of these have been edited down for time and clarity because people be writing.
Long paragraphs of their problems.
Yeah. So, okay, we're going to take the first one. And I'm quite excited. Okay, guys. Dear Aunties, let me start by saying I'm very much pro-black. So we've been talking about black. It's very, very fitting. And this person's entire brand is Black Love, Black Lives Matter, Black everything. However, I have a best friend from uni who is white. We are no longer best friends like that because life is lifing. But we're still good friends who don't speak often because he works abroad. He's white. And if I ever did white guys, I think he would be my type. And not because his family's pretty solid in terms of wealth and connection, but because he understands.
I just mention it right now.
Just get that bit in.
Just throw that in there.
That
because he
feels like
understands
it could
his-
be because of that, but okay.
Well, but because of it, he understands his position and white privilege, plus his parents love me, have been trying to get us together for ages. We recently met up for dinner after not seeing each other for years. And I'm not sure what the American water or air did to him, but this man is fine now. I mean, David Beckham, Chris Hemsworth, and his brother fine. He's always been the spicy white guy with a healthy mix of ethnic friends, but now he's full-blown seasoned. Beard and hair shaped up, more bass in his voice. He even walks a little differently. He's either worked out or he's gotten taller. I don't know what it is, but man's looking good. He's now my type. However, during our dinner, he spoke of us throwing away the friend title and possibly exploring something more serious. He even threw in the word wife. Oh. But, dun, 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 I'm in a relationship with my Nigerian king. We've been together for nearly 4 years. He
Took a turn.
Yeah, it did. We have spoken about marriage, but he's also said he's not ready yet and needs more time to get his affairs and mind together. But since meeting up with my friend for dinner, I've been dreaming about him blowing my back out almost every night. Aunties, I'm pro-black, but I'm really starting to question if I'm really pro-black. What do I do? Aunties, I need your help.
I don't even
wow.
need to laugh.
It just went in all different directions.
It went round. It was like Quay's brain almost.
It was actually, I was reading, I was like, wow. And I had to edit. Listen, let me just say something. Sweetheart, I edited yours down.
Like,
there was a lot to that,
she's
you know.
flinging in pro-black a lot, right?
So she's questioning.
No. But like, I feel like she's flinging in the pro-black. Yeah. But you said he's your type. So how pro-black are you if he?
Because he was
your type?
spicy, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's still not black.
I think that's her dilemma.
Do you have to be?
Well, the dilemma
That part
should
one.
be that you're with a man.
But
like
that's
that.
That's right.
That's the dilemma.
Stop talking about pro-blackness.
I know.
You've got a boyfriend.
So you've made up your mind.
You called him your Nigerian
She's
king.
supposed to be pro-faithful. That's what she's
That's what
supposed to
she's
be.
supposed to
What's
be.
the dilemma here? Like, the dilemma should actually be: do I leave my man for this man? Not stop flinging in pro-black and
That's
this and that.
when
and
she
the other.
added in the Nigerian king. I was like, what?
Nigerian king.
Now towards the end of the thing, you're telling us about your man.
You're dreaming about him every night.
As a Nigerian
No,
Auntie
you're-
Sade, how do you
Auntie
feel?
Sade, what should she do?
Like, she should answer
What should she do?
What was the accent there?
Nigerian.
No, absolutely not.
Even I
Don't
can't
ever
insist
do
that.
that.
Two Ghanaians, they're racist,
Don't
they're-
ever do
They
that.
got issues. Them two.
I mean, bro. Well, I think, bro, I think you should take a break from your boyfriend. Yeah, I think because the thing is, it's gonna play on your mind. Like, you don't want to be with this man. Just be real. You don't want to be with his man because you wouldn't take the action to do this. You're focusing on being pro-black. That means that you are seriously considering a major life change. that's the reality of it. That you want to take a break from your boyfriend, have a conversation with this guy, maybe date.
Wants her back blown out.
Yeah, do you know what I
that
mean?
was a
Like,
lot.
and then see how you stand. But I don't think you want to be with your boyfriend. I think that's the underlining thing.
Because even her saying, "Oh, like it's been 4 years," and he says he needs his time to get his mind right and blah, blah. She don't want to, and I actually think she's had a thing for this white guy for a
time.
long time.
Yeah.
From
And now that
uni,
he
innit?
is looking good, she's now like, okay, well maybe
You're
I
right.
should explore it.
And
Like,
he's rich.
She's probably thinking about the aesthetics. Maybe before the aesthetics of the two of them together weren't quite right, but now he looks good. She's probably like, actually, even in my pro-blackness, this could actually work out.
Because he looks good.
Because he looks good.
And he's got a beard.
And he's got a beard and a shape-up.
And she didn't mention the Nigerian boyfriend's parents.
No.
She mentioned his parents, that they love her.
I love her. And by the way, it's in
Right.
capital letters.
And
Love her.
they're trying to get you guys together. So
She
you
didn't
have
say
Yeah.
nothing like that.
like, I'm
Her
sorry, you don't like your boyfriend.
You don't.
Let's just
You
be
don't.
real.
He's a stepping
regardless of
You're blocking
race.
someone
He's a
else's
placebo.
blessings.
Do you know what I mean?
He's a placebo.
Blocking someone
You're
else's
doing this for the
blessings.
meantime. You don't
Yeah.
like him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like,
He's a
girl,
reason,
go
a
and live
season,
your life.
Go and
Like,
live your
yeah,
life.
just break up. Be responsible. Break
You
up
can
with your
still be-
boyfriend.
You can still be about the black people.
And then just see.
you know?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? You don't just because you're pro-black doesn't mean you can't date outside your
Yeah.
race. In my opinion.
Me too.
That's another discussion.
His eyebrow went behind.
That's it. That's what I said in my opinion.
I feel, I don't know. I don't think she is particularly on this dude, actually. I think it is more about the boyfriend.
Oh.
It probably is time to dead that relationship. I'm not too sure that it is to hop in to this relationship with this dude just because you fancy him. If you truly are pro-black in the sense of not just for black culture, that's cool, you can be for black, but pro-black, like you want a black family, you are pro that. You can fancy him, but I can't see how this would work with your ideology. So maybe drop it as your ideology and just be, I'm for black stuff, and see this dude if you want to see this dude. But 4 years is quite a long time in a relationship, but that probably isn't serving you, so drop that. But I'm not saying jump into this one.
Auntie Farah, any last words?
No.
Should she stay? Should she go?
I think she needs to done with a boyfriend. I definitely think that, because the fact that you're dreaming about someone else blowing your back and you just don't really want to be with your boyfriend anymore.
Yeah, you're
He's
right.
longing you out. Yeah,
he's longing you out. And even all there's no excitement in how you speak about him.
Tease, I'm messaging from Dallas. Please change my name. So I have. I met my husband at a tech convention when I was 27. At the time, I wanted 4 children. But as time has gone on, the number has gotten less. When I was 33, the number dropped to 2 children. Now 34, turning 35 in September, I'm thinking I no longer want children, period. My husband still wants 4 as he comes from a very big family. Every year he speaks of trying for a baby, but I put it off. The problem is we bought this big 5-bedroom house in Dallas with a huge yard out back with hopes at the time of filling it with children. I really don't want him to leave me or break his heart, but I don't know how to tell him I don't want children anymore. Please help, Sarah.
Wow.
That's deep.
There's no way around this. You have to
No,
tell him.
you
That's
have to.
absolutely not fair.
You can't keep this a secret.
And
No.
yeah, you can't keep it a secret. It's, the fundamentals of your marriage are breaking down here because you're not being honest. You both are on 2 completely separate pages. That's not sustainable. It's not sustainable, because one thing will happen. He will either be resentful that you haven't given him the children that you said you were going to have when you entered your marriage,
Right.
or you will be resentful because you're going to feel like he's going to force you into having children that you don't want.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, you both have to have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
Because that's no way to live your lives. And, if he wants children and that's super important to him, then you need to allow him the space to go and find someone that wants to be in that same position.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you need to be with someone that doesn't want to have children, if that's where your head is now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't, not say anything.
She's only turning 35, and sometimes is it that pressure of, I'm 35, I've got to have everything right? You can change it up.
I don't know, because she said she went from wanting to have 4 to wanting to have 2 to wanting to have none.
No.
And what is going on in her life that this change is changing? Like, what's affecting this change in perspective?
Well, she may literally be looking at her life and can't see it with children.
Which
And
is
that's fair. But
No,
you just
yeah,
got to
that's
tell the
sometimes
dude,
you get
really.
older, that's what happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, you can, like, some people, like, when they're younger, I feel like I'm going to be married by the time I'm 25, and then it's like later I don't want to be married at all. It's like you change as a person, you develop, and what you wanted when you were younger isn't necessarily what you want as you're older. But they're in a marriage. She has a commitment to be honest with him.
Yeah.
Absolutely that.
He can't wait years.
No.
And then
And it's also not fair on him to every year be like, next year.
And
And
then
so what are you going to
And
do?
there might be things that he wants to do at an age that he now with children that he
Yeah.
won't be able to do when he's
as you get
older.
And also
So-
the financial commitment to a big, massive house that's going
Yeah.
to be empty. That's also not right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Dear Hey Aunties, I recently saw Tammy Roman ask a question on Instagram, which made me ask myself a question. She asked, if women watch girl-on-girl porn, does that make them lesbian? I love lesbian porn. It's actually the only type of porn that turns me on. There is something so satisfying watching another woman please another woman. I find the sex is more gentle and sensual. However, I have never had a sexual encounter with a woman, nor was I looking to. All my sexual partners have been men. Recently, however, this has got me thinking, am I bi-curious or possibly lesbian without knowing it? I am at a crossroad. Should I explore it or should I just stick to watching it instead? Kenita, who's aged 29.
Lesbian porn is literally like one of the top
Search
choices
points,
for
yeah.
women anyway. I think that's very normal. But you'd need to fancy a woman in life to be like, am I bi-curious? It can't just be on watching porn.
But I can understand that if you're getting pleasure from watching 2 women have sex, it would make you then question your daily. And it might not. She hasn't said that she's ever fancied anyone or not, but she's never had an actual sexual encounter. But I could understand her wondering, does this mean I like women? If she's getting turned on. Because if I've ever watched porn, I do not watch women because it doesn't do anything for me.
I do the gamut, actually. I probably do watch way more lesbian porn.
It doesn't do anything for me.
I can't say I've ever watched lesbian porn.
What,
Definitely
never?
watched it.
No, like, if I'm watching porn, there might be women getting it on, but there's men involved as well.
Gangbangs.
No, not gangbangs.
Like a threesome.
Like a threesome.
Like a threesome.
I'm going to put this out there as well. I don't really watch porn, right? I don't really watch porn. The times I have watched porn, it's like an appetizer to actually having sex.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
where porn's been involved with me. And I can't say that I want to really watch two women have sex because that's not my thing.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it's not my thing. But I don't know.
I understand it would make
I
you question.
wouldn't have. Well, I don't question it, so I don't know. That has literally never come into my mind. I would think it would be more in life. Like, actually, I fancy that person. So could I be like it would be that than watching it. That's where my thought process would go.
I think by the nature of it, she's probably curious.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But like, it doesn't mean you have to act on it. It's up to you, really.
Yeah.
If you feel comfortable, if there's someone that you fancy and stuff. But I don't think it makes you a lesbian, because also as well, like with lesbian porn, tends to be less aggressive. I would say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
This is why I don't
Kind of thing.
porn, because
Yeah.
very
It is.
aggressive.
There is some horrible stuff.
Yeah,
out there.
do you know what I mean? And I don't know, the psychology for me, it's like, oh, they've been paid fairly.
Yeah, same.
Like,
You've got to. For women,
What is that
Are they
abusive?
sore?
Yeah, no, it's that
Do you
because
know what I mean?
there's some headlines that you see if you're looking, 18-year-old or dirty slut gets rammed by a big car, and it's like, calm the hell
Far
down.
from pleasure.
Yeah.
And
it's like-
Which
and
is
it's
not
never-
this. I mean,
yeah.
there is that in the lesbian side, but I don't think it's
not as prominent.
It's not as prominent. Yeah.
If you're
for
searching
sure.
every point, you're not going to get those horrible headlines.
No.
And it can be such a turn off for your average woman
unless
that's
you're
just
actually
looking for a little
searching for that.
relief.
Yeah.
So what we're saying to Kenita, explore if you
think-
want to.
Yeah, I think there's so much out there nowadays anyway, like, do you know what I mean, in terms of forums and groups and everything like that, for you to even just ask questions, do you know what I mean?
Ask
Like,
yourself how you would feel
Yeah.
about a woman actually touching you, or you touching a woman, and I think that will let you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
more than
don't-
your watching habits.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I would
Yeah.
say.
I think
Don't
it's that.
jump
That's
to,
true.
this is what I watch.
Yeah. So
Actually, I
then
want it to happen to me.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
two are not like,
Conclusive.
yeah.
They're
Unless
not the
you want
same.
it to happen, really.
Interesting psychology though.
Yeah.
Also, because I think that there was something I saw that just said, like, because women are so sexualized in society anyway, we're so used to seeing images of women, sexual images anyway, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it kind of plays into that. So it's not
But
necessarily.
I've definitely heard men saying, I'm not watching two men have sex, and it automatically plays into their, if they watch gay
Their
gay porn, then
sexuality.
that means they're gay.
Well, that
Men always
true.
go that route.
I don't know.
always
That's
go
true,
that. That is
because
very
if your
true.
man was watching gay porn,
what that would throw up a
would
lot.
you be okay?
And that goes to the boundaries of because even I think we not have a conversation.
Changes, doesn't it, when you
Look,
switch it around? Because I'm blatantly
that
like,
conversation
It's
that
mad,
we had,
isn't it?
Didn't we
It
have
is
this
mad.
conversation? What was it about? Talking about porn and then threesomes and having two guys in the room. Like can they look at each other when they're in?
Like, you don't
know what I mean?
want
you don't
the
want
touching to take-
like, touching swords like Black Mirror, that Black Mirror show.
Yeah.
Touching swords. When does the boundary cross when you've got two men in a room with a woman and they're both?
But in porn, they don't care about that.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't
No,
care.
that's what I'm saying.
No,
I'm talking about as
yeah.
the watcher, the person watching, or the person involved, as a woman involved. Because even women, how we
they
judge
don't
men.
want the men to be sexually involved.
Yeah.
It should be all on the woman.
But
And
then
that
no,
was the
but
thing
in-
of, but if the two men then start doing what two women would do in a threesome,
But no, but even
does
no,
that
but
switch
not
No,
even
no,
that,
no.
but not even that.
I'm just saying, in porn, when
Yeah.
you watch it, like, that happens. There are things touch all the time.
I understand,
Do you know what I
but
mean?
also it's
So that
like-
is normal. Like, it does happen. It
How
doesn't
how
mean
do
they're
we as
not.
women then see that? Because and also what's the line? Because if two men are in a room with a woman, are you turned on by the woman only, the act of sex, or is the element of another man being in there? And then does that blur the lines of what's your attraction? Do you get me? So
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
why people
What, the
get
guy-
very,
oh, yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
That's why people get very confused or could avoid something like I don't even want to test those boundaries because I don't want to change my whole life up.
it's very interesting, isn't it, actually? Like, when you switch it round,
Yeah,
how it
everyone
then
draws up.
turns
But
into
that's-
a bit of a, what are you then?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily with a woman.
because lesbian porn's more acceptable.
Yeah, and we
Lesbians are more
judge
acceptable.
men.
Yeah.
We judge men on their
Look at that
sexuality
episode of
all the
Insecure
time
when,
and their masculinity.
when Molly's her boyfriend at the time had said that he'd had a gay encounter.
Yeah, and then she was like,
couldn't
no,
deal
I
with it.
can't. Yeah. I know quite a few bisexual men always say that. Like, it then turns into you being gay because most women are not accepting.
Wasn't that on Love at First?
Yes,
Love is Blind.
Love
as
is
well.
Blind in the first
series.
season. Yeah.
The black guy.
Oh yes, yeah.
But I still don't like the way they done her. They done her dirty.
Yeah, they did.
I really didn't like the way they tried to portray her. That
But
was
yes,
horrible.
yeah, so many men really do talk about that. But instantly, I was a bit like, oh,
Yeah, if
I
you
have
watch
a
your-
conflict there actually.
Yeah, if
But-
your partner, your male partner, you caught him watching gay porn, whereas if he caught you watching lesbian porn, I doubt it'd be the same.
Because you'd
conflict.
almost be encouraged to keep watching it, bro.
exactly.
That's, yeah, because
Seriously.
that ties into the male fantasy,
Fantasy,
isn't
isn't
it?
it? Yeah.
Whereas women,
So I understand
may
if
not have the
Kanita's
same.
feeling. We don't know what your religious beliefs are, the environment you live in, your people, your friends, your family, what their beliefs are as well. So if questioning your sexuality and it could even be a problem, I understand the sensitivities around that. But you really have to, as the aunties have said, ask yourself the questions that: are you actually attracted to women? Do you really feel something when you see women in the real world?
I will say as well, though, it's just that I think I don't even know how to word this properly, but I do think that there is like a kind of like sexuality tourism that goes on,
Yes,
which I
definitely.
think can be harmful to
I love
people.
Yeah, they do.
Do you know what I mean?
That's a
And I
really
don't
good
think
word.
that is cool. I think you need to be really upfront about where you are and make sure that people are on the same boat as you. Do you know what I mean? Or accepting of your situation. If you just want to have an encounter, let them know. Like, don't try and be something that you're not. Because
I've definitely heard conversations, especially specifically with stud lesbians, who say, like, you know, you get the femmes or you get straight girls wanting to play around and then not understanding that this person's emotions are involved, and you're playing, trying to sexual tourist yourself, and then actually there's a human being that could actually be into you.
Yeah.
And then you're just, I'm just dilly-dallying. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
going to go back to my dicks now.
Yeah, just wanted
I
to
think
explore.
that's the same about with men though, that sleep with women before they've come at them like, I'm actually
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing.
All that.
That
Be
is
honest with
that
yourself.
that is not spoken about a lot, because
isn't.
it's like the trauma, especially the youngness, the trauma that the person just. It's a tricky one,
It is.
because you're expecting that person just just accept you who you are, but you've actually indulged in a
Deception.
dishonesty,
Yeah.
and that's not okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like, I think that needs to be normalized. Well, we're moving as a society anyway.
Yeah,
do you know
we
what I
are.
mean? So
Yeah.
hopefully it is. But like, there is a kind of like, a little like, it's okay to just dip in or just to be dishonest because you have hang-ups
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
your sexuality, and that's not okay.
Okay, guys, thank you for that. If you want us to solve your dilemmas, please forward them to via DM to @WAP_magazine_. Your dilemmas will also be published in the WAP online magazine. So that was a little bit of your Aunties Could Never as Agony Aunts for WAP magazine. I think we did a good job.
Yay.
Pat ourselves on the back.
Those are some good dilemmas.
Really good. What's made you sad, mad and glad this week, guys? So I'm sad about the deaths of Harry Belafonte and Jerry Springer. It says what it is. Mad about the shooting of Ralph Yarl, the 16-year-old who went to pick up his brothers but knocked on the wrong door and got shot. Also mad at the death of Caroline Bryant Donham, who was the woman who accused Emmett Till, who was then 14 years old, of wolf whistling at her, where her husband and his half-brother murdered Emmett Till in infamous murder, and we know what happened. She got to live to 88, and she just died without atoning for her sins. So I'm mad about that. And I'm super glad, one, that I came into this room feeling so ill. I now feel better. My stomach was ripping and I was not feeling good, but I feel better right now. And I'm also glad my daughter turned 23. Amazing, and she's just a joy to mother.
Happy birthday.
She's joy to mother. I'll go next. I'm sad also that Harry can't speak. Because I'm so cold. I am sad that Harry Belafonte died. It is the end of another era. I am mad about the man that was found guilty of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl in a park 4 years ago, and he was only given 270 hours of community service.
That was
What is that saying
horrid.
to people? You can get away with doing these horrible crimes, and you only get community service. So I'm.
But it's going to be
absolutely-
tried again, or
There's an appeal. There is
There's
an
an
appeal.
appeal. The court is
Yeah.
actually appealing against the sentence.
Yeah,
They're like,
good.
That
insane.
sounds
That's
like
insane.
a crazy
Yeah.
judge.
Yeah.
Like, And
Yeah.
all of his cases need to be looked
All
into.
of
Yeah,
it needs to
all
be
of
looked
it.
at, and
Exactly.
he needs to be looked at too.
Yeah.
Right.
Because what the
Definitely.
So that made me very mad, and I was glad that the sun is making an appearance, but I can't feel it in here.
Imagine it's like we want to go outside.
Can we record from outside? Go ahead. Who's that?
Oh, good. Okay, I don't really have a sad. I think the maddest thing I'm about is this pledge allegiance thing. I'm so mad about it. Like, it's unbelievable. I think it's just an audacity, a piss take. Like, he's out of touch, and it just needs to end. Abolish the monarchy, man. I'm glad that. What am I glad to? Counter to Beyonce, man. Seriously, I'm really glad. And Guardians of the Galaxy is out when this comes out soon.
Next
Very
week,
soon.
okay,
Next
so
week,
Egypt.
yes. Ah, lovely. So yeah.
Sad. I don't think I have a sad. Actually, no. I'm kind of sad about Jerry Springer, and I don't even know why. Like, but that kind of threw me off kilter. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
was
was
like,
a
oh.
cultural icon. To be fair.
Definitely, like I loved watching the show, though it is absolutely as toxic and ratchet as hell.
Yeah,
but I
yeah, yeah.
loved
I
Jerry
was going to
Springer.
say, because someone was like, "Oh, but you're sad about Jerry Springer, but you're not sad about Kevin Samuels." I was like,
What?
I didn't even see
Did you
the
not see
two.
that?
I
Said
saw
that?
that. Yeah, I
see
saw
that?
that. I
And
saw
I was
that
like,
going
who
around.
said
Like,
that?
with this person,
People
some
are
Kevin
mad.
Samuelite.
People are
That's who
mad.
said it.
Yeah, for real.
people, whenever somebody dies, it seems like Kevin Samuel seems to come up again. Like, people are like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, look at this outpouring!" But what about Kevin Samuel? What about him? But yeah, so I was sad about Jerry. Mad. I was literally livid, but seeing the news about that Carol woman when she died.
Yeah.
I really wanted them to actually get a bit of justice, even if it was like she was interrogated. I know she was literally on oxygen, has been at death's door for a little while,
well.
but I wanted
Was
them
that
to get
true?
something. Each time we saw her, she had like, and she could literally have the
Just
wire.
Do you know what I mean?
She could have done that. Who knows? But I still believe that
She
she'll
is
get
a
hers.
liar after all. Sorry.
She is a liar.
Do you know what I
she may
mean?
hate
So
that.
She's comfy in hell,
I
but
hope.
not comfy.
I hope there is a bed for her wherever she's gone, and she is lying in filth.
You know
Like, I
what
really
should
hope
happen?
so.
Anyway, let me not say that. But I was
Go
going to
on.
say, in hell, she should, her suit, you know, like they say when you're in hell, you go through a loop of like
Oh,
the
what?
worst possible thing that could happen. Right?
Yeah.
So in her hell, she'll go through everything that he went through.
I hope so.
That will be her hell.
And like just continuously.
Just continuously.
I really hope that she is suffering, because I would have loved for them to have got justice. But also justice also atones for yourself as well. Like,
Yeah.
that she would have had that lifted from her.
And
But
that's
she
when-
died, and so now she has to be
And
in hell.
Mamie died before her.
Yeah.
Emmett's mum died before her. After
Imagine that, 88, like living with what you've done. But yeah, who knows? But yes, that was maddening. I'm just glad for life.
That's cool. That's all.
Give thanks for life.
Guys, thank you so much. That's been your Aunties Could Never. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Watch us and follow us on all the social media platforms. And we'll be back again next week.
Thank you.
Toodles.
Bye.
bye.